you gotta have a very strong why, where it gets you out of bed. Trading is a very frustration. Jordan? Hold up, bro. I'm gonna have one of my partners, Jordan Miller, which is also my partner, in inside trading. Just a testimony, if y'all don't believe me, we lose a lot of money every day, from the jump to where we are right now. I lost over 100K, and I made it back. I lost it again, I made it back. What was teaching me, that was also teaching me how to make more money in the market. So now it's like, I hop on the charts, I just look at it for 5 minutes and I know what I'm doing. If I take an L, oh well, I'm gonna make it back. It's just that simple. So I'm gonna have my friend Jordan. Jordan, wanna say something about psychology, bro?
Alright, nice to meet everybody. It's my first time here with everybody. I'm just glad to see everybody here who actually took the time to come down. And I'm just really excited. So a little bit about myself. I'm 24, well I'm turning 23. 23 years old. And I'm turning 24. I've been trading for about 4 years. First 2 years, not really too profitable, about $30,000 down the drain. I was in college at the time and I just dropped out because I didn't really have a purpose for it. Like Kimani was saying, if you don't have a purpose for something, if you don't have a reason why you're doing something, you're not going to follow through with it. So I ended up dropping out and pursuing trading as a full-time career. And my third, fourth year going into it, about over 6 figures, 7 figures as well. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And I have a lot of students who are seeing results too. So trading, it's not like how people on social media make it look to seem. It is, and it can give you that lifestyle that you really want. But if you don't put in the time to do it, you're just not going to achieve the results. Like, it's very different for everybody. You're all unique, so don't expect my results or anybody else's results to be similar to yours. We're all going to fail. That's the only similar result that we're going to have. But if you don't try to keep moving, if you don't have a reason why you're doing what you're doing in the market, you're not going to succeed. So, what should I say about this psychology? Psychology is everything. Trading is 100%, well 99.9% psychology, the rest is buying and selling. If you don't know why you're doing something, if you don't know when you're going to be getting into the market, you're going to fail. You can easily press buy or sell and get lucky one time, but that's not going to last a long time. So focusing on not just the skill, but also learning more and more about yourself, getting more intimate with yourself, that's what's going to take you from a regular trader or an unprofitable trader to a more competent, well, a more sophisticated and a more successful trader. Because if you don't know yourself, if you're allowing emotions to cloud your judgment, you're going to mess up a lot. You're not going to be consistent. So learning yourself, learning when you should be trading and how you're feeling, those are very big, important keys to being successful and consistent in learning. That's all I got for trading psychology. I can talk for more.
Alright, so like I said, everything has to do with psychology. Whether any business that you go in, it has to do with what you believe in and your reason for doing it. So our next speaker is my mentor. I met him at his event. I literally searched it up. I went to revamp my circle. I have friends that was just, they're my friends, but they want to play 2K. I went to build a whole restaurant. They went to buy a game. The mindset wasn't there. My circle had to change. So, I literally, like I said before, I searched it out. I went to his event, talked to him at the second one. He does trading as well, so boom, I had him. Remember him? I was like, yo, we're going to talk. We started to talk. So, and one thing I always want to say is when you're networking, it's a value for value. It's not you come with empty hand and I come with all the gems in my hand. It's a value for value. We're both exchanging something on top of that friendship that we're gaining. So when me and Curtis started to talk, he was a trader, I'm a good trader. He wants to get better, I was able to provide that. I wanted to get networking advices from him and how to do this, what you see me doing right now. It was an exchange. It was like, I give you value, you give me value. So, I can't talk highly enough about this man, this kid. I appreciate him so much for like taking the gems out. I kid you not, met him 1 week, and the next week he had in a penthouse. So that's how powerful network is. I'm up 134th floor looking at it. I'm questioning myself, how did I get here? And then it clicked, just like talking to somebody, literally just like talking to somebody. So, Curtis Squad, can everybody get a round of applause for Curtis Squad?
First thing first, I want to give Prince, man, thank you so much. He did an amazing job for his first event. Give him a round of applause. For my first event, I only had like 6 people, so he did way better than me. So I'm giving him too much jets. But I just want to say first, to break down, my name is Curtis Squad. I'm 37 years old. I've been doing real estate for about 10 years now. I bought my first house at 26. I own multiple houses. I'm a landlord. My daughter's in college. She plays ball, D1 basketball in Cali. I own vending machines. I do real estate events. I day trade when I can. Not like this guy, but I try. And I started doing these networking events after I got my real estate license because I'm a broker. I work at the corporate group. Show of hands, who knows the corporate group? Raise your hands. All right, who watches Shark Tank? Raise your hands. Who knows Barbara Corcoran on Shark Tank? Raise your hands. Right, I work for her firm. That's the firm I work for. So it's one of the top firms in New York City. So I sell a lot of multi-million-dollar condos and co-ops all over New York City, and I also sell townhouses in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. But I started these events because, just like him, I wanted to give back value. I felt like I was learning all this stuff as I was on my journey throughout life, and I wanted to give it back. And I felt like doing these networking events, I could help people get to the next level as me. Because working your way up, I'll never say it's lonely, but it's like you always want to bring somebody else up with you, especially like-minded individuals as yourselves. So I started these events 6 years ago with the mindset of helping each other out, and it, like what Prince says, is giving each other value. Because at the end of the day, we are all gifted, and we all can learn something from one another. Like from Prince, I learned a lot from this young man, and he helped me with my business and also just my mental. So don't think that you cannot give any value to anybody else, even though you're starting from, not saying from nothing, but starting with what you have. Always keep that mindset. We all have something to exchange with somebody. But I'm not gonna make the speeches long. I do these networking events once a month to bring out realtors, bankers, attorneys, contractors, hard money lenders. If you're looking for somebody in that field, or you want to be in that field, you can come connect with me, and you can come to the next event. For entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur is very, very, very difficult. It's frustrating. You're going to lose a lot of money. But I tell you this, the first thing as an entrepreneur is you got to know, like what Prince says, your why, but also your purpose has to be stronger than your pleasure, if that makes sense. Think about that, guys. Your purpose has to be stronger than your pleasure. I'll take it to like exercising, right? Some of us want to lose weight, some of us want to get in shape, right? That's the purpose, right? But the pleasure, right, is you eat late, candy, sugar, drink sodas. We all revert back to our pleasures. It's human nature. But if you understand the purpose of why you're sacrificing for those cookies, why you sacrificing for the sugar, why you can't eat after 9 o'clock, why you can't eat before 12 o'clock, you'll get to your purpose. And that's just on a minute level. I'm just breaking it down on a smaller level. When it comes to entrepreneurship, there's times that you want to go outside. There's times that you want to spend that money on that bag. You want to spend that money on that, on those shoes. That's pleasure. That's instant gratification. That's not going to get you to the next level. So stifle your pleasures, leave those pleasures alone, and just be focused on your purpose. And that will get you to the next level. Any questions, guys? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. This is what
when did you fail?
I think one of the biggest L's that I took was, I took a client out, I showed her about 30 houses. 30 houses. I mean, literally, I'm talking about, we went from Upper East Side, Upper West Side, Central Park, Soho, and after like the 35th house, she sold one house with a realtor and just got the deal done. 2.5 million. That was about that was like a $75,000 check. So that one hurt. Because I did all the, I'm not gonna say I did all the legwork, but I showed you over 30 houses and one broker showed you one house and was like, oh, I want that house, sign the contract, done. I don't get paid because it's commission based. But I learned from it though, because at the end of the day, you gotta separate your emotions from your business. Always remember that. Always remember that. We are all customers in our own way, right? Even though we're entrepreneurs, we're still customers, right? So even though you're working with somebody for so long and they decide to go with somebody else, don't take that personal, because that person is acting as a customer. You understand? But what you could do is tighten up your game, learn from that lesson, but just keep a smile, because at the end of the day, another client's gonna come into your office. Another client, you're gonna meet another client. They're gonna see that negativity on you. Then guess what? I don't wanna do business with a guy that's negative because you lost a deal. I'm gonna go see somebody else. That's just overall entrepreneur 101. So whatever business you're in, do not take clients personal. They have their own interests. Because at the end of the day, if you can't help me, I'm gonna go to somebody else, or I'm gonna talk to 2, 3 different people. But you cannot take it personal. Next question. Nope.
Alright, so popular question we like to ask on our show, is it harder to stay creative or stay inspired with what you do?
Useful, super fast. One word you said. Say that one more time.
Alright. So popular question we like to ask on our show, is it harder to stay creative or stay inspired with what you do?
It's hard to stay creative, man. To me, I like to say, it's easy for me to stay inspired because of my why. Like I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my kid. I'm actually the first person in my family to be an entrepreneur. So that gave me motivation to kind of just keep moving forward. Like I'm very blessed and I'm happy that my mom could be proud of me for what I'm doing, because I built her a new basement. I take my mom traveling all over the world. She can do whatever she wants, so I'm already inspired. That's already gonna go. But to stay creative in these type of times, I can't TikTok that much. There's not enough content. I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to come up with. That's the hard part for me. So that's why I have to be around like-minded individuals or young talent to keep me creative. So you always gotta stay humble when it comes to entrepreneurship. Though you can't act like you just know it all. I don't know it all. So I always gotta be around young fire, young talent that can give me that type of creativity. So the creativity part is the difficult part for me. Just being honest. I don't know if I answered that question right. But any other question, guys? Yeah. Don't be nervous, guys.
My apartment had no front door. It was not too far from here. It was on Madison Avenue, probably like 10 blocks from here. I had mold in the bathroom, I had roaches, mice, I had a roommate that was like really negative. My other roommate had bad hygiene, had a smelly dog, things like that. And I wanted to get out of there, right? So I tried to get my own apartment. I got rejected for places all around New York City. I got rejected in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, the Bronx, not Staten Island, because nobody's trying to move to Staten Island. The only place that I was able to move to was right next door to a funeral home in the hood, in Flatbush, right? So picture, taking home a date and things like that and going to a funeral home. That's not an aphrodisiac, right? But I had to pay 5 months of rent to move into that apartment, right? And that was like a fifth of my income at the time. I had to pay $7,000. I was making $35,000 at the time, and that's not something that you want to do. So that was like the catalyst to me that described that bad credit is really costly. So it was $7,000 physically, but the cost wasn't just the cost of money, it was an opportunity cost, right? When you don't do certain things or give yourself certain access, you're gonna miss out on other opportunities. So if a decade ago, I put $7,000 on the property, right, as a down payment, how much equity did I miss out on after it catapulted to 2019 and then afterwards, right? So you don't want to have opportunity costs and things like that. So I'm going to give you guys tools to accomplish everything that you want. So again, I had no front door, if you can picture it. If you could like look right into the kitchen, my bedroom was here, the bathroom was there, you would see me like walk into the bathroom in the middle of the night. But now I live on my doorstep is like 3 blocks away from Barclays Center. I'm a doorman, things like that. So the way you do that is you're gonna have to make goals. It's not gonna be a linear trajectory, right? It's not gonna be instant gratification. So even if you can't see yourself where you're trying to be, write that goal down. Surround yourself with, just like Curtis said, surround yourself with people that are doing right now what you're looking to do in 10 years. It's called having accountability partners. It's really, really important to do that, and you deconstruct your goals. So whatever your 10-year goal is, you're gonna say, what can I do in 7 years? What can I do in 5, 2, 1, 6 months, 2 months, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day? When you get down to 1 day, that's called the high value task. and you're gonna eliminate everything else that's not important, all the busy work, right? So you're just gonna do those 1 to 2 things that's gonna put you on the trajectory of where you wanna go, right? So then you're definitely gonna have mentors. You're gonna have mentors and accountability partners and things like that, right? So pretty much it's really important to establish your goals, know where you're going to go. Then you're going to do something, you're going to do something called paying yourself first. This is what I learned from my mentor, right? It's the same amount of money that you make right now, it can go a lot further depending on how you position it, right? So the first thing you're going to do when you make money, you're going to spend 10% to invest first, or you're going to set aside 10% to invest. Then you're going to set aside 10% to save. Then you're going to set aside 10% for yourself, unapologetically. So that would be like, going to the club. For me, it was buying Brooklyn Nets tickets. It might be concerts, right? So you're going to do anything that makes you feel rewarded for that discipline that you're having. It's like the cheat day in the gym, but financially. Then you're going to spend 10% for growth. That growth is anything that makes you better at making money, right? So that can be hiring a mentor, that can be getting systems, buying a system, it can be delegating and things like that. When I hired my mentor, my business tripled, and then it doubled a month after that, and it never looked back. So this is like the way you're gonna allocate your money. It's gonna go a lot differently than not having a plan. If you don't have a plan, everything you make, you're gonna spend on what you need to do and what you want to do, and nothing projects you forward. When you invest and reinvest, it activates the power of compound interest, which is exponential. So you're gonna constantly reinvest 10% first, you're gonna save 10% second, you're gonna spend 10% on yourself, you're gonna spend 10% on growth that makes you better at making money. 55% is going to go for your bills and your obligations and things like that. And then you're going to spend 5% to give, because whatever you give is going to reciprocate right back to you, right? So now we're going to talk about leverage, credit, really, really, really important, right? So credit can either hurt you or harm you. So if you have good credit, you're going to be able to do all the things you want to do. All the spend you usually spend can be on a business credit card, like Chase Sapphire card, or a MX Platinum card, or a City Premier card. And that same spend is going to give you free flights, right? Or it'll give you free hotels. Or when you go to the airport, you get the lounge access for free, where you get like food and drinks and all that type of stuff. And you can sometimes they have like massage chairs, sometimes they have showers, things like that. So you want those experiences with the same amount of money that you're spending anyway, right? When you have good personal credit. Also, you're going to be able to get your house, get your car. But more importantly, I want you guys to develop business credit, because you don't want to use your own personal utilization, right? You can only use 30% of whatever your limit is before you start to harm your score. When you have a business credit card, that utilization is not counted against you. And more importantly, when you're trying to get a home to Curtis, you don't want your debt to income ratio to be impacted. So when you use a business credit card, you're not going to have that impact to your debt to income ratio. So there's certain things that a bank is going to care about when they're trying to give you business credit. They're going to care about the lender compliance of your business. They want to know that it's like pretty much legitimate and established. It's really important, it's very boring, it's very tedious, but they're trying to mitigate their risk. So they want to know that you have an address that's not your home address. You shouldn't even be having your home address for like protection purposes. You know what I mean? Like if someone said, hey, I did business with you, you owe me $200,000, I feel like you owe me, they can do one of two things. They can either sue you and try to sue your home, or they can come to where you and your kids are at. You don't want to have your own address on your business, right? So you can use stuff like Regis or DaVinci or Alliance to get your physical address. You also need to have something, like you need to have your phone number. I have 2 phones physically, I have 4 numbers, but none of those are sufficient for a lender. You need to actually have a business number for your business, an FCC listed number. So you can go to like Vonage or something like that and get a business number. All these things are things that they care about to see that your business is steady. Like, is there an address we can come to people? Is there a number we can call? It's things like that. You also need to make sure you have a business bank account. Your business is not considered to be established until you have a business bank account. And not only do you need to have a business bank account, you need to have a certain amount of balance in that business bank account. So let's say you're trying to borrow $200,000. They don't want to see you have $60 in your bank account. They don't want to see you have $800 in your bank account if you're trying to borrow $200,000. How are you going to pay it back? There's something called a bank rating. They want to see an average daily balance for the past 3 months of $10,000, right? Now, I'm not saying you guys have to have $10,000 dispensable laying around, but just know this is the criteria that they're looking at when they're trying to give you money for your business, right? They want to see that. So we have ways to help you meet that. You can either get a signature loan from a credit union or something like that. Often if you have a 780 score, they'll give you $30,000. Take some of that money, put that in a business bank account, park it there for 3 months so you can meet that criteria and get more increased funding. So I actually have a resource. It takes about 40 minutes to fully describe business credit. I have a free resource for you guys. It has videos for every step. It has direct links for every single step. I have a business card that you guys can scan and get access to that when I'm done speaking, but it'll guide you through all the lender compliance items. Essentially, a bank is going to sell your note to another secondary lender after they give it to you. They're going to pull together all of the business owners here, and they need to know that you're that you're going to perform on your debt. So that's why they care about those lender compliance items. So it's not as simple as like, hey, getting a car in your business name. You have to actually structure your business the right way so that it appears to be fundable rather than actually give you all the money that you need for that type of stuff. So hopefully you guys have questions. I definitely have a resource that will take you step by step, video by video. You'll have access to 200 vendors. You'll have access to 244 credit cards with the criteria in it. You should definitely know before you apply what the criteria is. You don't want to have too many inquiries. Like, let's say that someone was trying to talk to a young lady over here, right? But they were talking to her and her and her and her and her. They're not going to want to be interested in you because you look like you're everywhere. Ben doesn't want to see you over leveraging yourself. So the last thing I'm going to describe is personal credit. The foundation, if you ever want to know what your score is or how you get it to where you want it to be, you're going to ask yourself 5 questions. You're going to say, am I paying on time every time, over 97% of the time, right? That's 35% of your score or 175 points. You're going to ask yourself, is my utilization under 30%? That is 30% of your score or 150 points. You're going to ask yourself, is my average age of accounts over 4 to 5 years on average? That's 15% of your score or 75 points. That's a really big component. Most people only think about their payment history and how much they're using, but they don't think about their average age. They want you to have a track record of maintaining credit well. You also need to have good account mix. Account mix is having installment accounts and revolving accounts. Installment accounts have a beginning date and an end date. That's like your auto loans, your student loans, your personal loans, things like that. A revolving account is your credit cards. That's 10% of your score or 50 points. And the last 10% or 50 points is inquiries. Again, you need to have less than 5 inquiries in a 24-month span. If you have over 18, if your inquiries are over 18 months, you can remove it. If you didn't get approved for something, you can remove it. But you want to be very intentional and know what you're going to get approved for before you ever apply. And those are things that you need to do with personal credit. Once you have that 680 or 740, you can get those credit cards. You can start to get business funding. You can start to leverage it and upcycle it and things like that. But the foundation is always what you need to pay attention to as far as that goes. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys have any questions or. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually have 2 questions. First question.
Oh man, I didn't want to hold this. I want to both my hands. Hi guys, I am an author. I have a book called Personal Profits. I am the CEO of Fitness by Yanni and KZ Legends. I don't think I need this because my voice is pretty big, so we're gonna put this down. You guys see this flower, right? It's pretty, right? This flower is very unique, and I just want to let you know we're not too much different from this flower. We are unique and special, just like this. But life has a funny way of working out. Life is not easy at all. And just like this flower, life has a way of just picking our petals. And sometimes, after the petals, sometimes we can get broken into pieces. I remember the biggest failure and me breaking into pieces happened in 2015. I was sentenced to 1 1/3 to 4 years in prison, and I became a convicted felon. When I tell you, the most hard, difficult, complicated time of my life was then. I'm about to express to you how. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was next to my lawyer, paid attorney, sitting in front of this lady judge with over 15 members of my family sitting behind me while the judge sentenced me to my bed. I was devastated. I thought I was gonna die. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Now that I know I'm about to go to prison. I remember walking into Rikers Island in Queens, correctional facility. I went in a dorm room with 60 different women. 60 metal beds. I slept on a hard metal bed for weeks until I was able to go upstairs and go upstate and do the rest of my bid in a correctional facility near Buffalo. Jail was not easy at all. Guys, I went in jail and I was 130 pounds. I was so stressed and depressed, I went down to 109. I purposely wasn't eating, not to mention the food sucked like shit. But just because of the stress and the depression that I was going through, I didn't eat. So with that being said, going through everything that I went through, if you're gonna take anything from me today, guys, I'm telling you to fail. Mess up. I mean, don't fail like I did. Don't get yourself locked up. But my motive and my point is, when you make those mistakes, when you have those failures, it might be the reason that you find your passion and your purpose. When I came home from prison, I did 15 months, I made the parole board, I was lost. I was $100,000 in debt. 70K restitution for the money that I allegedly stole the other. 20K I owed credit card companies. I owed back rent. I had a repossessed car. Mind you, I was a young girl driving an Audi thinking I'm a hot girl. From 19 to 24 years old, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was reckless. I was a scheming bartender in Manhattan who did very, very bad things. I was so ashamed of everything that I did. I did a lot of things that I can't take back. But you know what? When I came home, I gained 90 pounds. So you guys remember what I said? I went in 130. Because of being stressed and depressed, went down to 110. But then after being incarcerated, while in that jail cell, while in my small cubicle with my everything that I owned was literally right around me, I did a lot of yoga, I meditated, I had my faith in God. Thank you, Grandma, so much for paying for me every day, RIP to her. But because of working out, because of yoga, reading books, working on my personal development, I started to feel a little bit better and I saw light at the end of the tunnel. I came home 90 pounds heavier. I was damn near 200 pounds when I came home from jail. To myself, I was fat. I was insecure. I was in $100,000 in debt. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do with myself. So the only thing that I knew to do was go to the gym. We go to the gym. We're working out. Every single day we're going to the gym. So people are like, mind you, while I was in the gym, while I was in prison and made my parole board, I had 30 days before I was able to go home. I looked in the mirror and I realized how fat I'd become. So every day I was working out. Every single day. And the girls is like, who you think you are? What are you doing? They laughing at me because I'm in my cube every day going hard, working out. Within a week, oh, can I join you? What are you doing? So remember, people can sit there and critique you all they want. Don't let it bother you, because a week later, they're going to be following you. Okay? Be that leader that God sets you out to be. Don't care what nobody says. With that being said, coming home, we went to the gym every single day. I got my first and only job at Equinox. They gave me an opportunity. I worked there for years. But then I saw how much money Equinox was making for me. And I'm like, Kiana, start a business. What are you doing? 2017, Fitness Bayani was born. got my LLC. I didn't know too much about business, but I knew I had to get an LLC. Didn't have a business account, no business credit. Didn't do anything but get that LLC. I started to train individual clients. I did body bath boot camp classes. I sold Fitness Bayani merchandise. Before I knew it, I made my first 50K in my first year of business. Didn't pay no taxes, didn't do nothing. Everything wrong with Fitness Bayani. But I knew I had a little bit of a plan as far as how to make money. I'm a hustler, always been a hustler, always been a hard worker. But it's just like I didn't have the steps and I didn't know certain things to take the right steps. With that being said, after Fitness Bayani doing okay, everything going well, what happens? Pandemic. Just like all of us, most of us, we lose our jobs. What are we gonna do next? Yeah, I was still training clients remotely, but I didn't like it. I like the one-on-one. So I had to figure something out. And I don't know about y'all and how y'all worked in the pandemic, but the pandemic was the biggest eye-opener for me to this day. For the simple fact that I started to educate myself about passive and residual income. I became a day trader in the stock market like most people, but what I did was crazy. In April of 2020, I had a couple dollars. I put $500 into a TD Ameritrade account, but I saw an opportunity in the market. The market was extremely red every day. I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but I'm telling you, you gotta buy when there's blood on the streets. When things are low, I'm not saying be a day trader, because honestly, I only recommend it if you really have a purpose and you love to do it. But I recommend, and highly recommend, for all of us, every single last person in here, especially if you have kids, to become an investor. Buy stocks, dividends, mutual funds, whatever you can, buy it long term. If you gotta put it in your kid's name, put it in your name, set it and forget it. Okay? That's what I did, and as a day trader, I saw an opportunity. Back to that, I borrowed $26,000 from 32 people. One of them being right there that gave me money to borrow. I went to my dad, my mom, my cousins, friends, whoever it was, because I saw something in it. People are like, that's risky, day trading, don't do it. Everything is risk, risk, risk. Life is about taking risk. Denzel Washington said there is nothing in life worthwhile unless you take risk. Nelson Mandela, there's no passion found in anything you do unless you go after what you want and you take those risks, okay? You gotta live a life that you wanna live and not just be scared or afraid or not wanna do it because of your family or your friends or no one's believing in you. Family dropped me. Once I was in prison, I had my immediate family. People were ashamed of me. No, a lot didn't get letters, didn't get things, didn't even talk to me no more because they're at a certain caliber and now I'm the convicted felon. So now they're looking at me crazy. So I've been through a lot, guys. People done disowned me. I done did so much. So back to 2020. Invest. When I started learning about investing, passive income, residual income, 2021 was my biggest year for me, that I made the most money. So I opened more businesses. Okay, we're gonna do this. I don't care about messing up. I don't care about falling. Why? Because I done fell fucking hard before. And all the biggest influential people in this world, all the millionaires and billionaires in this world, they fell. They made a mistake. So I'm telling y'all, it's okay to be scared. Do it scared. Do it fucked up, do it with no one believing in you, but just make sure you do it. Take the baby steps, take the precautions, take the things that you need. Put yourself, like you said, put yourself around people that want to do what you're already doing, okay? That's what you gotta do. I don't care about your family, I don't care about your friends, I don't care about anyone who you knew for a long time. If you want to do something, make sure you do it. And everything you do it with intention. You see everybody keep saying, your why, this is your why. What is your intention? We all need to be moving and living with intention. You know, I read a book, one of my favorite books, I highly recommend it. The Seat of the Soul. It's by Gary Zukav. Highly recommend it. He talks a lot about every action has a reaction. And before you can even have a thought, before you can even have an action, you gotta have intent. You gotta have the why. So figure out, make your life so intentional and understand why you're doing what you're doing. What is the outcome of what you want to do? Once you figure that out, then you got your why. Once you got your why, once you got that intention and live intentional with everything you do, it's gonna work out. Just never give up. Okay? You guys are unique, like this flower. I wrote it in a book more in detail, prison to profits. I was so ashamed of my story and so ashamed of telling it, but going to conventions and seminars and putting myself around people that inspire me, they inspire me to tell my story. I didn't tell nobody I was a convicted felon. I hid it for 5 years. As of last year, we said we don't care. We're telling the world, people make fun of me. I'm putting everything that I did wrong on the front burner, so you ain't got nothing to say no more. Okay? My book just sold 5,000 copies 3 days ago. Dreams, serial entrepreneur, never going to stop. Get you a digital product, start investing, get that passive and residual income, guys. Because if you go to work just to make that money, they need you. They need your body, they need your time. We are working to get our time back. All right? Remember that.
My name is Jessica Jones. How are you guys? Thank you so much for having me here. I know you guys hear a lot about business credit, realtors, things of that sort. We'll talk a little bit about the mind. I'm going to tell you what I've been through. And I'm just going to kind of feed your spirit because that's what God's telling me to do right now. So I'm going to feed your soul right now. I am a domestic violence survivor. I'm a rape survivor. I almost died twice with COVID. I had it twice. Not once, but twice. I almost died by myself in quarantine. I had pneumonia on top of COVID. I'm planning on where my kids is going. This is how deep it was. The doctors is coming in like, all right, we don't know if you're gonna make it. We're gonna put you on the, on the ventilator. I'm like, I couldn't breathe, but I'm like, y'all not putting me under, like, cause I was scared I wasn't gonna come out of it. I'm calling my family's arguing who gonna get my kids. I'm like, oh God, you can't take me here. This ain't the time. If I survived everything else, I gotta survive this at this very moment. And I did. And I'm like, all right, I gotta take this and I gotta go full-fledged with it. So I am an entrepreneur. I'm a life coach and business coach. I have my own medical lab. I have a spa business and I have trained over 300 women. I started off helping single mothers because I was a single mother. Now I'm married. But I started off with helping single mothers because I was a single mother. Unfortunately, my kid's father did not to bash him because he'll probably see this, but hey. But he didn't really help me too much. And I had to decide whether it was to work, to take care of my kids, or to go to school and better myself because I was a CNA. And I was, wiping butt, right? And that was fine. But I knew I was destined for more. I felt it. I felt my purpose and I trusted in God and I would just pray. And I'm like, all right, I know I'm meant to do other things. I left my job and I've been self-employed going on 5 years now. Self-employed, I got 6 kids and 2 grandbabies and a husband. Doing this, I was a single mother with 4 kids, and I knew I had basically been around so many women that cried to me because again, I'm very open on social media. I don't hide on social media because I want y'all to see, when y'all see my growth, y'all see everything I went through with that. So I'm gonna show you my highs and I'm gonna show you my lows. I'm not gonna be on Instagram just showing you my highs because I had to go through some lows to get to that high. So I done been through a lot. And so my main purpose is just to let women know that anything is possible. And then I started with my husband. He opened my eyes and I got to tap into the fellas now. Y'all are kings, okay? Y'all are kings and I don't think y'all get praised enough. You see a lot of women empowerment events, but we need to do something for the fellas because y'all are kings, okay? Y'all have been through some things. My husband, he is incarcerated right now, but guess what? He's incarcerated, but he's coming home to businesses now. He started that off from when he was in there. And he's coming home to businesses, his mindset is different, everything is different because guess what? It starts with the mind, right? If you're not feeling confident within yourself, it trickles down to your business. Because I know when I'm not feeling at my best, how am I going to pour into my business? How am I going to pour into others when my cup is half empty? You gotta train your mindset. So again, I'm here to just tell y'all guys and women, y'all got this. Everybody in here done been through something, and I'm sure some of y'all not even talking about it. I'm talking about I done been raped, I done been domestic violence. He tried to throw me out of the 5th floor window. I was dangling out the 5th floor window because he saw it was too much. He saw my greatness. It was too much for him. But guess what? At first, I let that dampen me. I didn't feel worthy. I'm just like, it took me years to figure out why I felt the way I felt because my mind was conditioned because that's how he conditioned my mind. Then I was like, you know what? I know my purpose is greater. I gave it to God. I gave it to God. Whoever it is you believe in, I don't gotta be whoever you believe in, give it to the higher up. Whoever it is that you praise. Because anything is possible. We all got some type of situation going on. I made over 10K in one day. I didn't even know that was possible. In less than, it was like an hour. I was like, shoot, yeah! Like, I'm doing something here with training, right? And I want to help my community. I done rubbed elbows with billionaires. I done paid top dollar to get into these rooms. Now, y'all know these rooms ain't cheap. They ain't cheap. And some people just, unfortunately, can't afford to get into these rooms. But so, I felt my purpose was, I was fortunate enough to get into these rooms. And what I do is I soak up this knowledge and I bring it back to the community. I bring it back to us. Because a lot of these people, again, in this, no colorism or anything like that, but our non-melanated skin, they be having some tits now. And they be having some things that they spread within the rooms. And you got to get in the rooms to bring it back out here. Because guess what? They don't want y'all to know this. They don't want y'all to know this. Why? Because we're going to end up taking over. And we are taking over, because guess what, since the pandemic, a lot of y'all started businesses, right? Y'all made a way for your family, for whatever reason it was. Why? Because we don't stop them. But again, sometimes they don't want us to know these things. There's no shade. But this is what I feel my purpose is. I gotta come, I gotta soak up this knowledge, I gotta bring it back to the community. Because why? This is how we're gonna break generational curses. A lot of us got kids, grandkids, or y'all gonna have kids. And we want them to succeed. We don't want them to feel the struggles we struggle with. We don't want that. And so this is why I opened up our nonprofit organizations for incarcerated individuals. So anybody that's coming home, I help them with employment, I help them find jobs, I help them start their business. I help provide counseling for families because sometimes it can be a hard transition for the men when they come home to have a family and to do these type of things. So I want to make sure I pour into the men as well. I pour into my women now. And y'all need me. I got relationship coaching, life coaching for my girls now. But I want to pour into the men. I don't want to forget about y'all because I know y'all, we do a lot of women empowerment, girls. We stick together, but we got to do it for the men now too. So I'm not only speaking to the men, no, just also on behalf of my husband. Got to pour into y'all. So I just want y'all to know, if y'all leave here with anything, there was so many great tips on business. And again, I have a medical lab, a black-owned medical lab. Like, that's dope. You don't really see too much of that going on. So now I'm helping other individuals open up their own medical lab. And sometimes you don't need to be a nurse and you don't need to be a doctor to open up your own medical lab. But they won't tell you that, right? They won't tell you that. But I'm going to tell you that. You don't need to be a nurse or a doctor. I'm going to tell you how to pivot all of that. I'm going to tell you how to get around to all of that. How to hire your own staff. You can even open up your own non-medical healthcare agency. Bring this stuff back to the community. Bring this stuff so we ain't got to struggle. Our kids ain't got to struggle. My daughter, 17, now has her own business. 17, photography. She sews her own clothes. She do all this. We got to start it from young. And we build. And we have so much more knowledge now than we did years ago. We didn't know about business credit and all this funding. We didn't even know that was accessible to us. We didn't have that luxury, but our kids have that luxury. Why? Because now we have this luxury. So we got to bring it back to the kids. And again, y'all are doing amazing. If nobody's telling you this, today I'm telling you this. You guys are amazing. And if anything, if you leave with anything here, y'all got this. Y'all had some amazing speakers drop gems. I'm here just trying to feed your mind, body, and soul. Like I said, I've been trained over 200 women on how to start and expand businesses from medical, hair, food truck businesses, everything, beauty, spa. God gave me a mind and I'm using it, right? Because sometimes I feel like I could do everything. I don't know about y'all. I feel like I could do everything. shoes. One minute I want to sell hair. Next minute I want to do nails. Like, you know? So, but I know I can't do everything now. But this is why, if you're like this, that means you're supposed to pass this knowledge down to somebody else. If you know you can't and your cup is full, pass that knowledge down to the younger generation, to the next sister right next to you, to the one that's struggling with her no good baby father, or the one that's struggling with her kids. You know, no shade to the men, but yeah, and you know men got no good baby mamas too. But you know, I get it, but pour into somebody else. Don't be afraid. Listen, there's a corner store on every corner, right? They all sell the same thing, chips, juice, same brand, same everything. Are they out of business? No. So why can't we all team up and do the same damn thing? Why do we gotta be in competition with each other? Why can't we just all team up and bring this money back to the community and flourish? And I don't want to take up your time, but I hope I fed a little bit of your spirit.
Few CEOs in here, and once again, shout out again, my mentor and the guest speakers. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity even to make you do this. I know you probably had different things that I want to do with your time. It's a Saturday, potentially might rain, I don't know, but everybody, thank you so much for showing up. I feel so done. Thank you. Look out for the other one. That's the next one. Trust me. Within next week, it's going to be posted, so definitely look out for the next event. Next event that I'm going to be at is June 28th. Yes, sir. So meet me there. Don't let me get there for you. Don't let me get there for you. Definitely want to appreciate Angela for allowing me to take the space. She's outside, I believe. Thank you so much for this. Is there anything else I want to say? Nah, just have fun, network. We have a special DJ here. Let me just get it right, because I definitely want to get it right. We definitely want to get it right. She's, what's the radio station?
SID WBLS, I'm here. Hi,
Alright, she's about to get us in tune. Y'all don't gotta leave. Y'all can definitely have people that you can network with, stay, enjoy, drink. Support the bar, support the food, support the place. Thank you so much once again for popping out. And also I want to give a big shout out to what's Cookin, No Essence, and we got, what's the name of it? What's the number? And The Luxury. Guys, if you have Airbnbs, if you have a room that needs to be clean, definitely speak. That's the person you want to speak to. Enjoy yourself and thank you once again for coming out.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy Breeze. And you know, we don't go to no events if we don't vlog about it and if we don't talk to the main host. So you already know what's going on. Kimani with me. And you got an episode tomorrow. I don't know when it's gonna drop by the time y'all seeing this, but by the time y'all see this, definitely will be out already. So we will go with that. But anyways, Kimani, like, you know, I definitely got to commend you for this event. What got you to, what inspired you to even do this event?
I just had to reinvent my circle. I wanted to meet new people. So once I went out, like I said, on my Instagram, there's a post showing me how to. There's an Instagram post on my Instagram story. Follow me at royalpiips. It shows you how to go to Eventbrite.
I want to hold the mic a little higher.
Oh, my fault. You gotta go. I got you. I'm gonna take it over. So we went to Eventbrite. I went to reinvent my circle. So I just had a lot of friends that wasn't in the same mindset as me. So I had to went out and look for those people that was in that area. So like I said, I think you had posted it as well. I show people how I went to an event, search up an Eventbrite, entrepreneur, Forex, whatever you're interested in, and I just went to an event randomly, just went by myself, saw the vibes. I met my mentor, Curtis Cloud, and he showed me the ropes. Still many ropes to learn, but just by seeing the amount he did show me already, I was like, this is something I want to show people, that just by networking, it can get you so far into so many doors that you don't know. Like, I met him one week, and the following week I was in a penthouse, and I'm up there like, how I got up here. It was very exclusive. So this is something I want a lot of entrepreneurs to come out to and network, collab. It's easy to get somewhere by yourself, but you get definitely further we do it as a group and grow it together.
Yeah. So one thing I gotta commend you on too is like one thing I like to highlight with entrepreneurs who like to switch lanes, right? So you took trading and you went into other businesses with it, right?
Right.
And it's crazy enough because like for as long as we've known each other, it's like I didn't necessarily put you on when it comes to trading, but it's like I kind of was the godfather to it. So you know, it's very inspiring to see. You know, like I impact one person. Shout out to Zay, by the way. And that one person went out and, you know, inspired so many people like yourself to do great things. And now you just took that, you know, switch your lane, and now you're doing so many different things for yourself.
Right.
So, you know, I definitely got to give you a lot of credit for that. Show a lot of love for that.
I appreciate it.
But, yeah, like, you know, for the audience that don't know, like, what are some things that you transitioned into? Because I think I might have caught like your speech kind of late when you were speaking about it. So let them know what else you do.
Alright, so what else I do is I started off with trading, which is you already know that. I went into ATMs with my second business. Then my third business was my restaurant. Y'all about to hear about that tomorrow on the podcast, so definitely tune in. Once again, heavily tune in. Y'all can hear a lot more in depth about my story and also more questions. So those are 3 things that I'm doing right now, and now I'm getting into the networking space where I'm hosting events for entrepreneurs. So if you want to call that 4, go ahead. It's 4. But it all started with trading, and that's why I always want to tell somebody, always focus on one thing, and that one thing is going to take you to where else you want to go. But just focus on one thing. Don't do too much, because if you do too much, like it's like running with a lot of eggs in your head. Eventually, all those eggs is going to fall. But if I'm just running with one egg, I'm going to get to where I need to be to get more eggs. That's how I did it.
And hold on real quick. Yo, we got a special guest in here, man. It's another one right here, prolific ones right here, man.
You already know we here.
I'm going to start calling y'all the disciples of Brees at this point.
Yo.
No, I'm messing with y'all.
Started it. What's cooking? I just want to ask you a question, though.
All right.
What makes you want to do a podcast?
That's a great question, because I love to answer this one. All right, so for me, it was all about problem solving and figure out doing something different. Everybody want to do a podcast about relationships and, you know, sports and, you know, what else? I don't even know what else, but people always talk about the same stuff on their shows. I'm just like, yo, let's do something different. I seen my boy, shout out Freddie from Prolific Fabric. I seen him do a podcast. I'm like, damn, I never seen a business do a podcast before. I thought it was all rappers and that's it. Oh yeah, rappers too, right? So I'm like, well, if he could do it, I'm sure I could do it with any business. So I tapped in with him. If y'all ain't see the episode, tune in. It's going to be somewhere here. Click on that. But I tapped in with him. We did a podcast. So I did a podcast with so many entrepreneurs since. And that's really just the whole goal. Just want to keep it rolling. Work with as many entrepreneurs as I can. You feel me? And just problem solving, bringing the community closer together. And, you know, just pointing off all the people who feel like their businesses are voiceless and, you know, kind of want to give up on themselves. We'll give them some light, some exposure, and just the content just used for their own marketing purposes. So that's really what I got to.
I definitely have to commend you, because like a lot of people nowadays, when they start a business, they feel like, or a podcast or any videography or photography, stuff like that, they feel like they need to aim for celebrities, people with like a lot of followers. And I see you don't even do that. You're doing, once you hear about their business and their story, you're already like, yo, slide through, show your business and your skill. And that's before they even pop up. So I hope when anybody that hops on What's Cooking and you get to the point where you're up there, you don't forget where you started. Don't forget who gave you the opportunity when nobody wants to give you an opportunity. That's something I definitely want to commend you for, because you're giving smaller people, unknown people, up and coming people a platform to showcase.
Yeah. So hold on, you know I gotta ask Jordan a question too, since Jordan's here. So you don't mind asking Jordan the mic real quick. All right, so Jordan, I'm gonna ask you a question too. So like, you know, I guess you're a part of the event as well as like a host and whatnot, but you know, just from the outside looking in, like, what did you enjoy the most about this event?
So the beautiful thing about this event that I'm enjoying the most is the people here. I love the energy, the vibe. You know, I got my guy right here. There's no miss. You know, he really did not miss with any of the people that came to speak. A lot of value was given though, and I'm just really excited for everything. And you know, free drinks, can't complain.
It's crazy how it started, man. It started with like, you know, I hate to bash them, but it started with IML. Then we expanded. Everybody wanted to make their bread. Everybody wanted to make their money. You know. Then we all start trading on our own. Then start from that to then I met Isaiah. Then I met you guys. Then I met Oscar. I met Dre. I met so many people in here. Like, it's just so crazy how networking goes a long way. And not just networking, but the passion for what you do. Like, you know, it takes you a long way. It takes you to the top with a bunch of people, strangers at that. So it's like, you know, it's a blessing, really.
I realize, like, the more events that we all connect, the more people pop out, the more of us get connected.
Oh, you're next.
We're missing one piece, and that's Isaiah. We're missing one piece that never been together, and that's Isaiah. We're really missing one piece.
Nah, I was looking forward to it. I thought this could be it.
All the souls at this point. It's crazy.
As soon as Isaiah comes, everything's gonna be even bigger.
Now look, young CEOs right here. I'm just the proud godfather. You heard? That's how I see it. But yo, y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all follow them on Instagrams. Y'all shout y'all Instagram or whatever. Y'all want me to just put it on the screen?
In the bio. Just follow Royal Pips. That's Royal Pips, PIPS. You already know the vibes. I don't miss.
And you got I am Jordan Miller on Instagram. You already know.
I see some of the panelists on. I guess they want to spot next, so we can let them get on, and we can end it like this. I appreciate.
So I'm like, these skills now they learning like calculating. I'm like, y'all learn how to be a party planner, and now graphic design. I'm like, y'all could take this now and go so far. I'm like, I didn't learn this at y'all age. I'm like, y'all got technology all around
Can you imagine when the kids get older, how much they're going to take over with the technology, with the business, and things of that sort? But this is what I said, break the generational curses, because it starts with us, right? We got to feed them that knowledge, because we're already business savvy. Right. We got the foundation going, but look, if they got the technology down pat, and that's just all they being kids.
The proper guidance.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of it is that they don't got people that care about them. They don't. They do not. With the new students, they have their tests. Even though they gave me so much problems when they went to take their math and English state exams, I said, good luck, I believe in y'all. And one of the girls was like, are you joking? I was like, no. She's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. I said, I believe you. I said, y'all are all very smart. I think you guys are going to come out. And it's just, they all looked at me. I'm like, damn, y'all never had nobody say that to you?
They need the motivation at home. A lot of things starts at home. A lot of things start also with the mom, because guess what? We don't know what their parents are thinking, feeling. We don't know what unhealed traumas they went through. And this is what it just trickles down. That's why I know I needed it to break with me, because that's why I was raped. I was all that. It could have affected me to the point where it's affecting me raising my kids. So I said, no, it got to stop with me, so that my kids will never have to experience what they have to experience. A lot of people in my family got molested, raped, or something in my family. It stopped with me. Because knock on wood, thank God my kids never experienced that. Knock on wood. And we all experienced that at an early age. So I was fearful, like, oh my God, if we all experienced that, will my kids experience that? But it had to stop with me. So I'm happy that my kids didn't experience that. Oh, I have no clue. That sounds good too, but I'm about to get
But really quick, I'm sorry guys, we came in the middle of a conversation, but we would like to introduce this fabulous young woman right here. So please tell us your name.
Hi, how y'all doing? My name is Jessica Jones.
And yes, tell us everything about you.
I'm an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, life coach, relationship coach. I help incarcerated individuals find employment, find jobs, start businesses. I help single mothers start businesses. Basically what I do is I help the community start a business, break generational curses, and just live it up, right?
Right, that's what we need. I think that's the topic of today, breaking generational curses. Because if we could give our kids the running start that our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents never had, it'll be great.
It starts with us. It ain't too late. We have kids now. Some of us don't even have kids yet. But if we train our mindset that we don't want our kids to grow up how we grew up, it starts from home. It starts from now. We can't blame our parents for how we grew up because we don't know how they grew up. And we don't know how their mindset was. We don't know their upbringing because guess what? They're still our parents. They're not going to tell us all their traumas. They're not going to tell us that. Just like I wouldn't tell my kids all my traumas. I would never want to traumatize them like that. So sometimes they just handling it how they know how to handle it. And I had to learn that it's not intentional. It's just how they was brought up. But it could stop with us. And now we can raise our kids to think differently, do different, be different. So it starts with us.
It does. It starts with us. And I think that's my end goal with everything I do. My end goal is to get back to the kids. Probably to start my own thing where I teach kids business. You know,
that and families. My goal is to keep families together. The mother, the fathers. We hardly see that now. Right. We hardly see that. Keeping them together, helping them with businesses, helping that family create a business, staying together while doing it. I want to create more opportunities for families, whether they're single or not. But I really like to see families stick together because we don't see enough of that.
No. Like what? A lot of my students, a lot of broken families. A lot of broken families, and they don't realize how much it affects them at such a young age.
And we always see have a hot girl summer. It's like, ain't nothing wrong with having a ring and doing the hot girl things with your husband and your friends.
Right.
It's okay. It don't stop there. It does not stop there. So it's nothing wrong with wanting to get married because that was a thing before when we grew up.
I'm 25. I'm like, I want to get married. I want a husband. My
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing wrong.
I want a family. I want a nice house. I want two holidays.
Listen, I know we hear a lot of women
Santa to come to the house.
Listen, I don't know about y'all. We hear a lot of women say, I don't need a man, excuse me, but I need mine.
Listen,
I want mine, I love mine.
And that's dumb because let me tell you something. There's no men that live in the house. Me and my grandmother. But thank God I got my cousins next door. Yo, can you please put my shelves up? Can you please put my AC in?
We gotta praise the men too sometimes. I love all women empowerment. I'm for the women. I'm definitely up for uplifting our women, but we gotta praise our men too, our kings, because guess what? They do play a vital role in our kids' lives. They play a vital role, and I want men to know how much they play a vital role in the upbringing of our kids. That's super important as well. So it says we can go on for that. That's a
right. I was like, my father, he used to be a cop, and being a young spoiled brat, I didn't realize the sacrifices that he made. So I got older. I'm like, you know, in that job, in that field, I'm like, you don't know if you're gonna make it home next day. You don't know if you're gonna make it home, but he did that to provide a better life for his family. So I'm forever indebted to my parents, especially my dad. Like, y'all just don't know. I get it now that I get older. I get it now.
I was fortunate enough, my mother and father never was together. Well, when I was younger. I don't remember them ever being together, but I was fortunate enough for him to still be very vital in my life. Very vital, especially for our young kings and queens. We need the dad. The dad, we can teach them as much as we possibly can as a woman, but we need the dads too. That's how I hope more men step up, and I hope that more women allow the men to step up. Right. That's very crucial.
Sometimes you gotta let the hurt go because the whole I don't need a man.
I believe in this saying, teamwork make the dream work, and I believe that. And that team ain't just all women now.
Right. It's not. We got everybody got their strength.
Yes, everybody adds something.
We can't do what men can do, and men can do what women can do. That's all we need to come together. We need to be exactly.
We have to have a better understanding.
Power in numbers.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for bringing our conversation in here because Reese just, come on, whatever.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and y'all will be seeing me again because I'm coming on the podcast.
All right. That's it.
Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Breeze, and I'm here with Mr. Money Man over here, man. If you guys didn't pay attention earlier in the vlog, you definitely missed out. But this is a man that works with a lot of high-class people, high-level people, high-value people. He's a high-value man himself. Gotta give him his credit where it's due. So yeah, just for the audience that don't know who you are already, let them know again.
Hey guys, my name is Curtis Quao. I'm a real estate broker at the Cookin Group. I'm also the CEO of the New York Real Estate Mixer.
So I already asked the $1 million question earlier, so I can't ask it again. But if there was anything I could ask is, how did you feel about this event?
This event is phenomenal. I met a lot of like-minded individuals, a lot of energy, a lot of great vibes, and I feel like we need to do this again, man.
Most definitely, for sure. So I know you're in a rush, so I'm not gonna ask you too many questions. If there's one thing I can ask you though, is what do you see going next for yourself with, any events coming up, anything like that?
So I have an event coming up Wednesday, June 28th. It's going to be at 550 Vanderbilt in Brooklyn. It's going to start from 6 to 9. It's a free event. We're going to have top-tier real estate professionals, everybody in the industry, bankers, attorneys, contractors, hard money lenders, title, home inspectors. Anybody that's in real estate is going to be there.
Yeah, I like that for sure. So if there's anything you could, I guess you could say any piece of advice you could offer anybody out there that's listening,
Guys, take risks, bet on yourself. You have to live this life for yourself, not for anybody else. Move with purpose, not with your pleasure. You're going to get to the top.
I appreciate it. I ain't going to hold you up too much. I know you're in a rush right now. But, it's the fly guy himself right here, man.
Man, thank you guys for having me, man. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. And stay tuned, man. This guy's good. Stay tuned.
I appreciate it.
All right.
My hair. So me too. So I have to be very conscious. Are you ready? All right. What's up? What's cooking? It's Taylor here, and I'm with our amazing guest, Kiana. Hey guys, how are you? All right. So Kiana, could you just please introduce yourself and just tell us everything? Well, we just listened to her speak. Her story is amazing. Very inspirational. Damn near brought me to tears. And I just want her to share this with you guys because I think each and every person that listens to her speak will definitely be inspired.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that.
No problem.
Hey guys, as you know, my name is Kiana McCrae. I am the author of Prison to Profits. I have 2 businesses. I also own a fitness company, Fitness Bayani, check me out, and also KZ Legends. Basically, I've been through a lot in my life. Basically, I've been through so much. One of my biggest trial and tribulations was when I went to prison. I did a 1.5 years upstate New York. Very hard, very traumatic, very dark. Basically, I lost it all, if you want to be honest. I lost weight, I gained weight. I literally was so depressed and stressed with the experience that I went through. I really didn't know how I was going to see it through. But I did. You know what I mean? I did. And because of prison, I found my purpose. So I just feel like my overall goal is that if you're going through something, whether it's a breakup, whether you get divorced, whether you lost a loved one, there's always a blessing in disguise in everything. And because of going through certain trial and error and trial and tribulations, you can really find your passion. Sometimes pain brings purpose. So remember that, guys. Next time you asking God, why you? Why did you do this to me? Why did this happen to me? Flip it. Why not you? You know what I mean? Use that fuel. Use that pain, use that fuel to just guide you to the next step in your life. Everything happens for a reason. Prison was a blessing for me. Sounds crazy, but I needed to go there in order to find my passion and purpose in life and to get back on the right track. Because the goal is to stay on the right track, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Kiana, for coming to speak to us.
Thank you so much.
Hope to have you on the show so you can tell us more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it's just a little snippet so you get to see her. Beautiful person, beautiful energy, beautiful mom. I love her. I love her already. It just matters. All right, that was it. Bye.
I'm Hannibal from Finland Forum. I do business credit and personal credit. So we taught today teaching everybody about the foundation to business credit and personal credit and investing and things like that.
So one thing I got to commend you on for sure is you didn't sound like the typical Instagram business funding people. Like, hey, come here, I'll get you 100K. Oh, all you have to do is this. Nah, you sound very genuine. You sound very informative as well. I feel like a lot of people, they like to just give you, excuse my language, but the BS they find on Google. And the next person, you sound like you actually, like this is, you speaking to us from experience, knowledge, personal knowledge. So I definitely admire that about you. You did tell us about your story and about your stuff like that. So, like, if there was any advice you could give somebody as to, I guess, like, yeah, like let's just say you have like a hard-headed person who doesn't really care about credit. How do you save some money?
Interesting. It's really important. A lot of people think cash rules, but leverage is really important. When you leverage, you can actually use the bank's money, other people's money, to make revenue from that. But you definitely have to structure your business the right way so that bank will actually lend you money. Banks care about like lender compliance. They care about all those small things that are really, really important. And you need to make sure that your business is properly structured so you don't look like someone that's going to default on the obligations and things like that. So I'm really, really all about teaching all the fundamental steps. Just like you said, TikTok, Instagram, they say just get a car on your business name, and they never tell you exactly how to do so. I want you to know step by step all the things you need to do because I want business owners to like hire others. I want you guys to innovate, things like that. I love Black excellence. I love supporting Black entrepreneurs. So we need all these resources.
Like one thing with the business, like credit specialists in general. I feel like every time it seems like it's such a simple subject. Every time I speak to one, I learn something new. I definitely learn a lot of new things from you or whatnot. But if there was one thing you could say, like that you feel like separates you from other credit specialists, what would you say it is?
So I fully believe in transparency. So every one of the aspects that I have, from personal credit to business credit, there's a portal where you can see everything that we're doing. We charge you after.
You know, a lot of people with divorces, they like to sell I show you a Lambo, usually buy my $5,000
I have a free resource that takes you step by step with videos for every single step. It's going to give you direct links to everything that you need, all the free. It's finlitdiy.com. If you go to finlitdiy.com, you log in, you're going to see all those things, videos for every step by step, links and everything like that, and you'll get access to over 15 types of funding and over 200 lenders, 244 credit cards. You want to know the criteria before you apply, so you're not just haphazardly applying and stuff. You want to hear the word yes and no.
Final question would be just based off the event. Like, what did you like about the event? Like, how did you feel about the event overall?
The event was amazing. I love to see young people be engaged. I'm actually motivated by the fact that we have 20-year-olds investing, owning restaurants, owning businesses. I want all of you guys to connect, to collaborate. That's all it's all about. We have more impact together than we have apart. So there's way more to come. Anything you guys need from me, you guys can go to HannibalCollins.com. That's my name, HannibalCollins.com. All of my social media, all of my resources are there. And definitely stay tuned to the podcast. You know what I mean? I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like some of these guys I even knew outside, just from the trading business and all that. So I knew a good amount of people here. Some of these people, even though I knew them online, this is the first time I ever met them in person. So and these are young guys too. So I have to say, I saw with you for the future, right? Well, I mean, I guess I'm for you. We're the future. I'm gonna act like we're the future. Yes. Definitely great. All these young guys, see them over there. It's great to see that. Definitely gonna be looking forward to seeing you at more events. Yes. We're definitely gonna be looking forward to going to more events. So all y'all out there, definitely invite us to the events. Whether it's a pop-up shop, brunch, panel, press release, media release, whatever it is, whatever business you have, highlight them. Bring us out. Bring them out as well. You can get some funding with your business and get you right in the right position so you're saving a lot of money and you're making more money. Just like that, it's a pleasure.
You asked me what sets me apart. I forgot. I actually give a vacation for 2 to anybody that signs up for personal credit or business credit. So I give a vacation for 2 to anybody that signs up for a personal credit or business credit. Yes, like Bali, Dubai, Paris, Greece, Rome, Italy, all that type of stuff. So just get active, get your money, start your business, pay it back. Definitely have to pay it back. Everybody's like, get the money and run off for the flag. Like, pay it back, be responsible, and let's get this money.
Listen, man, where you at? We got a trip for 2 going on sale right now. So, bro, wherever you at, holla at me. We're going to get this family, go wherever you want to go. I'm with it. We're here. I got 2 big girls with my deals, so I know. So, definitely a pleasure. So I have more events like these. I stay on the lookout for that. I make sure I have some love on Instagram. We got the business. So just like that, we're wrapping this up. I'm breathing. Yeah. Peace.
I hope you enjoyed another episode of What's Cookin' NYC. You can't find us in any air fryer, and you can't cook us because we're available on all streaming platforms. Like, comment, subscribe.